Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. How are my lovelies doing? My royalty, the amazing, petty, lovely court. But yeah, welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman channel. Just know also, I've got a Patreon and I uploaded so many new pictures, screenshots last night. And I have so many more to go because, yeah, my channel is as messy as my life. But yeah, I have I'm not, it's like if I say the number, it's just gonna, let's just say it's a mountain. I can create a small little mini mountain with the screenshots I got. Yes, I can. Okay, anyway. I'm going to be talking about education, politics, dating, all together, probably within the net. Like, I'm going to hop around on different subjects, but you're going to hear me talk a lot about education and also women's rights and also men who are upset and or they expect or they think they are required to have a woman. They don't care to improve themselves or be a quality man. Instead, with the help of the government, they want to force women to have no other choice but to marry. They don't want us to fall in love. They don't want it to be genuine. Well, I mean, some people are like, well, you're a leftover. You know what? I take that as a compliment because do you know how many women my age, how many women that I went to high school and college with that are now in the middle of a divorce or second divorce? Yeah. Yeah, you don't. And so, and or people who are in such horrible situationships, their marriages are awful, but then especially being because they are Christian, they will feel bad for their children or the the reputation of their family. They would be embarrassed to file for a divorce or since their husband talked them into not working anymore. They have not worked in years, so they don't have the experience, they don't have the money, they don't have a way out, they don't have an escape plan, so that they are literally forced to stay trapped into a situation that they are not happy in. And then there are some women who are married, but they are living the life of a single mother because the husband is like, I'm married. That's what I got you for. It's like, oh, the dishes need to be done. That's why I got you. The checkbook needs to be balanced. That's why I got you. Oh, you want your nails done? You have to ask me for permission because I make the money in this household. It's like, oh, the kid, like, I want to go golfing and I'm going to tell you a time, but I'm not really going to come home at that time. And I might even go to the bar after, but without letting you know. But, you're the mom, so you can do that. Oh, the mom wants to go out now. Well, you want me to babysit even though they're my children? Yeah, so let's just say, like, a lot of these, but then conservative men keep swiping right on me. A lot of these conservative men keep saying they want liberal women. Why in the world? Okay. And the thing is, like, some men have had to lie in order to date me. And yeah, they lied. Some men pretended to be liberal and they played the game for as long as they could, but then they can only wear that mask for so long. But then, yeah, I am a Christian, but I was that brainwashed Christian woman where once I found out they tricked me or whatever, I'm like, well, and with my undiagnosed disability, I was like, well, I'm supposed to be married. I'm supposed to be in a relationship. So it's like, yes, I asked all the questions. I asked his politics. I asked what he thought about the certain things, but that didn't being religious, being a Christian, does, yeah, they have the Ten Commandments, but mm, you see ICE running around with and a lot of the people in ICE wearing a cross around their neck, but then they sit front row at the church. You see ICE leaving marks on their girlfriends or wives, but then they sit at the front row of the church. You see a lot of these. Well, you know what? That's a different episode for a different day. But yeah, I. It's really crazy when people say, "But I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian." Stop saying it and just be one. Be one to the point where I don't have to ask that question or I don't have to wonder, why do I have to question it? Okay, just be, instead of being, oh, and yeah, being a bigot doesn't make you Christian, because a lot of the bigots out here, a lot of the racists are the colonizing, no good, heartless bigots. They're the Christians. That's what I've noticed. Because even when it came to the food stamps, even when it came to just like situations with African Americans and the injustice with police and like different things like that. And even one pastor talking about, well, if people say slavery was bad, it was in the Bible. Don't let them tell you. Yeah, you have to remember, all of these people are from the church. All of them are wearing a cross. All of them in their interviews say that they are Christian, especially that toast lady. She said in the interview she was a Christian. Okay, well, instead of saying it, be one. Have a heart. But it seems like a lot of these people sold their hearts, sold their souls, their hearts. Yeah, which, yeah, they would relate to one of my characters in my novel. And not the superhero one. It's another one that I'm working on. Yeah. But yeah, they won't be brave enough to read it. They won't be brave enough to read it, trust me. But when it comes to it's like, especially even religion and education, it's crazy how many times I heard my pastor and bishop basically hint that the only Bible you need to read and know and study is the Bible. And also that my pastor, like, I want to, like, I need the lowdown on his divorce, because the way he quietly dragged her, it makes me wonder. And even like the with his new wife, because yeah, he kind of got, well, yeah, I don't, anyway, I don't know. It's like, it's none of my business, and I 90% don't care. But with I care because of what he's preaching in the sermons, because a lot of these pastors say one thing, but then they do the absolute opposite. But then after they do the opposite, then they'll preach you the reasons, and like they'll tell you how and why that you can go around what they used to teach, or why they've changed their mind from what they used to teach, and do the absolute, like, it's amazing how some of these pastors do, and a lot of Christians, because even with the LGBTQ and that Mothers for Liberty, that one couple, they were against LGBTQ, but then they were doing some LGBTQ stuff. Yes, they were. And it's like they had a third person in their marriage, which, yeah, at my church, yeah, they talk about, yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just, I've noticed that a lot of the people who are more educated have more empathy, more compassion, and understanding. And I can see that they have a heart. I don't have to ask them if they have a heart. I see their heart from their actions. And it's like, yeah, words are words, actions are actions. But when I hear them speak, I hear their authentic side. Oh, and there's even that one woman with a lip filler who was saying she doesn't care about the homeless. And she was just like, I talked about that, I think last week, maybe the week before, but I think it was last week. That awful, hateful, terrible. And this, all in my opinion. All in my opinion, she's a heartless, terrible, despicable human being. Because just, I mean, like I said in that episode, like, if you don't know about the homeless, if you don't understand the situation, if you're not willing to even go maybe volunteer and talk to them, sit down. And that's like a lot of things with a lot of these Christian people, because yeah, this is when like they're not willing to be educated on people different than them. And I think one reason that a lot of people who have higher education vote Democrat is because, like, with K through 12, yeah, we got the education standard. We have to. No, we don't have that option. College, okay. Now that's optional. Well, it's like it's optional if you want a more professional degree, which now yeah, this country's trying to tell us that nursing and like parts of teaching and MBA and things like that are mm, mm. It's funny. It's like, yeah, but they're trying to control women. They're trying to, especially black women, but they're trying to control women. And but then okay, there's so many subjects I want to talk about in this one, which is why I'm going to have so many episodes on this topic. But these men wonder why, the conservative men wonder why liberal women want nothing. Like, I mean, if you just want to chat, we can chat here and there. But other than that, like, no, no, thank you. No, thank you. And if you're not political, that's another type. No, that means you don't care if I lose my rights. That means you're just gonna sit there and let be what be. And it's funny when, okay, well, okay, let me just, when it comes to education, especially with religion and things like that, and when it comes to higher education, it is just astounding how, especially within the church, they tell you there's like they want you to stay as ignorant and dumb as possible, because the more ignorant and dumb you are, the more moldable and the more they can tell you what to do, especially when it comes to the tithes and offering and stuff like that, and like allow the pastor's pocketbook to multiply so that they can fly on private jets and fly all over the world. And do I think Christianity is a good thing? Yes, if used properly. But with a lot of these millionaire pastors, yeah, I've woken up because I've been in at the same church for over like for about 30 years. Yeah. Yeah. I'm saying my age, I don't even care. Over 30 years, yeah. And just kind of remembering some of the sermons. And sometimes, I mean, I still have tapes around my room and tape CDs and everything like that. And I still have a tape player. So I like earlier this year, I found one and I had to like climb up in my closet and get the tape player because I was like, I think I remember this sermon. And some of the things I was just like, wow, the brainwashing that yeah. And I'm kind of wondering if maybe I can play part like, uh, especially, I don't, oh, I don't know if we still have my mom's collection. She got a CD or tape or cassette or whatever for years, almost every single week. It's like almost every single week, she would pass the money to my sister or I and told us that we had to go to the bookstore and pick up the CD or cassette. Like it depends. Like yeah, first they had cassettes, then it moved to CD or whatever. But and we did that, and she would play it. She would play the CDs on her like when while we were in the car going like picking up from school or going to the mall or running errands or whatever. She played them, and I don't. Church education is. I don't even like. I'm gonna have to digest to figure out the words that I want to say about my opinions on Christian education because a lot of it's brainwashing. And I'm still a Christian, but I'm more spiritual now. I am now like I found some like Christian leaders that I do like. I want to like. It's not like a concrete sermon every whatever, but okay. back to, I don't know, it's just the adventure of finding your place within the religious field, especially after realizing you've been brainwashed for decades. Because with the whole religion versus education, everything, it's like I've mentioned this in several episodes, but when it came to dating and marriage, I will never forget when my pastor, it was virtual, but he was saying what men want in women. And he said, like, the three B's. And you already know what one of them are. Like, but he stated that one of them is books. And he was like, but not books, not any books, the Bible, only the Bible, only the Bible. And do you know how many men? I mean, I've told you guys throughout the years, if like, if you need to catch up, I have over 500 and I think 550 episodes now. So, yeah, it's time to catch up. I talk a lot. I've already done a mini series on reading alone, and I'm going to do more on reading. And, like I said, more on education and higher education, and women in education, and politics in education, and religion with education. And it's just, whew. And then even dating slash marriage and education. And yes, does that like some of the stuff might overlap, but that's because a lot of these things connect. And I will never forget how over the years since I created my list of standards, one of my standards is that a guy has to have some type of higher education. It doesn't have to be a degree. I even said trade certification or degree or whatever. Maybe not be in that order, but any of those. Because so many men who don't, they think it's because of money. Do you know how many of these men are like, I make over $100,000 and I only have a high school diploma? You don't know what you're talking about. No, no, you just proved my point. One, I'm a sapiosexual. Two, I love talking and having conversations and watching documentaries and like different educational type of films. And I love reading and things like that. And a lot of men with only high school diplomas put me down or call me a nerd, a square, or tell me that a woman needs to just make babies and take care of them. That's what my job is, and things like that. Or, oh, my favorite, when men tell me what kind of man would want a smart woman. And yeah, it's like a lot of men have said this, but especially black men. And part of me feel like I'm so angry with the black men who say this because how dare you? We used to not be allowed to read, and we only were allowed to read the verses in the Bible that told us to be good old little slaves. Yeah. Then we had to fight to be able to go to school, get an education, and that didn't include college. Then we had to build our own colleges so that we could get degrees. But then, do you know that plumbing used to be a degree? And there's quite a few different trades that used to be a degree. We're repeating history and you don't even know it because you guys don't, you got a lot of you refuse to know your history, refuse to be educated, refuse to have an open mind, refuse to be woke because you enjoy the ignorance so much. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'll give myself an amen because I know I'm preaching the truth. But when my pastor said the only book a woman needs to know is the Bible, in my opinion, he wants you as dumb as possible. It's like he's basically telling men try to find a woman who was as dumb as possible. Because if you only know the Bible, and the Bible, or there's been so many translations of the Bible, but this version of it basically tells women, be a good old wife. Oh, yeah, ignore the leadership chapters because, especially nowadays, it's improper for a woman to be a leader. That's a no no. That's masculine. And oh, it's so funny how many men that I've talked to, they match with me. And something like, because even now, like over the year, I'm like, dating, we'll see. Because I'm 80% done It's like I don't even expect much or whatever, but when sometimes with conservative men, I want to know, why did you match with me? And so sometimes I swipe right and I tell them we're not compatible, but we can chat and I have questions. I have done that quite a few times this year. And there are some times where like there are some guys who, even if the politics match, something else doesn't match, and especially if they don't want kids, or especially, oh, there's this one guy, and I'll admit, he was kind of like, he qualified for a zaddy a little bit, from 65. Yeah, I think, and he's in his 60s. He might be 65, but yeah, I'm like, he's not gonna want any kids. Come on now. Liberal, but he's not gonna want. And I matched with him, and I told him, I was like, yeah, we're not a match, but if you still want to chat, or we can go Dutch and go to brunch sometime or whatever and talk and chat and everything. But yeah, I still want kids. And he was like, oh yeah, and he was so mature about it. And see, that's the difference. Liberal men they can handle it. Moderate and Republican men, oh, how dare you not oblige to me? How dare you say you're not compatible with me? How dare you read my profile? And see, okay, that reminds me of what that rapper said. In my opinion, he's a no good, ridiculous, just like, how do you, how can you tell someone is poorly educated without saying they are poorly educated? Because he said you don't have to be literate, but you need to be financially literate. And then you in school that you need to learn how to like create a job. But it's like he doesn't want you to read the books. He wants them to be audio, but then he doesn't understand the power of words, the power of language. And the more like words you use, like even if you're just going to do the audible and stuff, like if you're going to create your business and you're starting off on your own, the power of word and the power of how to create questions, even for AI, is like, because trying to even teaching with my college students, because language helps with creativity. Generation Z, they're like, we're smarter because we have technology. We're smarter. Like, yeah, you should have been in the classrooms. Like, I've taught like between 20 to 30 classes. I think I'm near 30 classes. And normally the creative students are the ones who read a lot, and or my older student, like my millennial students and stuff, like um ooh, Gen Z, it was like pulling teeth. Like, I mean, okay, and I'm not gonna say all of them. Some of them, it's like, I remember, like, I had a lot of creativity workshops, but I always knew my, like, the conservatives. I could always point out my conservatives, because they were like, "What's the point of this? Why are we doing this? Why do I have to think?" I literally had a student ask me, "Why does he have to think?" And I'm like, mm, I would hope you need to think. That's kind of scary. You're in a college class asking me, why do you have to think? But then I've already said this in other classes, that some students taught me how, with a lot of their classes, they just had to remember what the keywords that are. As long as they remembered those definitions for a period amount of time, they were good. They were going to pass the class. They didn't care. They didn't have to use their imagination. Do you know the power of imagination? And a lot of people are able to get that imagination because of reading, because of learning. Audio can only get you so far. But it's like sometimes the breakdown of the words, because even in my novels, like once I finish it, you'll see, but yeah, I'm working on it. There are so many Easter eggs I have placed in my novels. Something AI can't do, because some people, oh, they're going to get a ghostwriter. Oh, they're going to have AI write it. No. See, and like some people might be like, try to mock me or tease me. Oh, it's taking you, like, remember, I started off with one book in 2019, the very, very extremely rough draft of my novel. But then over the years, it's restructured to the point now it's three novels. So three novels since 2019, and actually there's five, and then there's also children's books, activity books, and other greeting cards and the candles. So there is a lot going on. I'm gonna finish, but now that one book turned into three. So, but the magic of words and the pattern of words and usage, and it's like sometimes looking at them is so much more. And then even advertising, the way that you put the letters, the way like even the fonts, and it's like it has purpose and meaning and things like that. There's power in words. It's like reading is a superpower that you like that can help expand your mind in so many ways. But then I keep hearing men promote being dumb. And I'm like, no wonder men tell me that they'd never want to date a smart woman because they're so lazy they want to be dumb. Why would a dumb man want a smart woman? Why would a lazy man want a smart woman? Why would a lazy man want a woman that has so many goals and wants so many things to achieve and skills and things that they want to learn and so many achievements, but then with those achievements they want to gain more achievements? Because even back to the dating, there are some men who they don't put their politics. It's like, yeah, with Facebook dating, you don't. Please, Facebook dating, add that as an option. But anyway, please let us be able to say which political, because that'll allow me to be able to swipe left or like, or if I see they're Republican, if I want to ask them why they swiped right on me, then it's an option. Yeah. But anyway, there's been a few men who they don't say, but then after you like swiping right on them, they would be like, well, you'd be a great mother. Why aren't you a mom yet? Well, yeah, I see you're not a mom. That's the only reason I swiped right on you, because I want to make you a mother. Yeah, these are what the conservative men are telling me. It's like, oh well, it's like I wouldn't date a woman that has baby daddies. I have other kids by other women, but I've trained them, or they know how to act. They know how to behave. Do you know, like, oh, and some of these are, yeah, white men and black men. Some people might be saying, oh, that's black men. No, white men too. One of the white men has 6 children. And he was like, you don't need any kids, just help me with mine. Do you know how many white men have said that? I'm not your help. Or even how many, okay, a lot of these are non-black men too, but a lot of men who have children, but then they know all of my goals and dreams, so then they want to use my knowledge just to be as selfish as possible. So then they tell me, oh, well, then I can stay home and I can cook and clean. No, you got kids. They'll be your kid. No, oh, the lies. Stepkids. Okay. And yeah, it's like I will, like, if I do have stepkids, love, adore, and everything like that, but don't take advantage of me. You are going to work. You are going to take care of that child. And that's one reason, like I keep saying, I'm never getting married. That's another reason. Because if I marry a guy with kids and then all of a sudden he quits his job, he was like, well, they're your responsibility now, too. We are married. You're not sticking me in that trap. You're not. You're not. No, no, thank you. So yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this whole government downgrading professional job. Like, and I've talked about this a day or two, whatever ago, but part of me just feels women are smart, we're brilliant, we're amazing, but they want to keep us just as property almost. Not even almost, they want to keep us as property, and that's really scary. But, anyways, thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Women Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.